In November last year, it became apparent that certain border security checks had been suspended without ministerial approval. As a result, the head of the UK Border Force was suspended with immediate effect, full controls were reinstated, and I commissioned John Vine, the independent Chief Inspector of the UK Border Agency, to report on what had happened. Today I have laid the report before the House, and copies will be available from the Vote Office. The Vine report reveals that security checks carried out at the border have been suspended regularly and applied inconsistently since at least 2007. Quite reasonably, ministers under the last government gave permission for warnings index checks to be suspended in limited circumstances. But the Vine report shows that the Border Force went much further, suspending those checks in unauthorised circumstances and abandoning them entirely for some passengers. The report is clear that this happened without the authorisation of ministers under this government or the last government. The Vine report also makes clear that the suspension of checks of which I informed the House in November occurred without ministerial approval. In July 2008, ministers approved the relaxation of warnings index checks for school coach parties at specified French ports. But the Vine report found that the Border Force had waived checks for other passenger groups over and above what had been approved by ministers. The report also uncovered evidence that between 2007 and 2011, warnings index checks were not carried out on European Economic Area nationals travelling to the UK on Eurostar services from a number of French resorts. This is likely to have resulted in 500,000 EEA nationals not being checked against the warnings index. To put those numbers into context, around 100 million passengers enter the UK each year. These Eurostar passengers are judged to be low risk, and they still had their passports checked. But the fact remains that these suspensions were completely unauthorised, and that is simply not acceptable.